Board meeting for the town of Arundecoit, January 15th, 2019. Visitors are invited to join board members in rising to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I'll ask you stay standing afterwards. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you just wouldn't mind remaining standing. This past weekend, as many of you know, the Arundecoit community was saddened to learn of the loss of retired Arundecoit Police Captain Richard Ryan after a hard-fought battle with cancer. Captain Ryan was a member of the Arundecoit Police Department for 24 years, retiring in 2017. He was a solid leader, a good cop, and a good man. During this time, we asked the entire Arundecoit community to keep Captain Ryan's wife, Erin, also an Arundecoit police officer, in your thoughts and prayers, as well as his two children and also his many brothers and sisters in law enforcement in Arundecoit and beyond. On behalf of the board, may you rest in peace, Captain Ryan. And now I will ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. We had an organizational meeting last week, but this is our first full board meeting of 2019, and the town clerk just gave me her gaze because we did not take the roll. So, Madam Clerk, I yield to you.
Councilwoman Hushleray.
Here.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilwoman Romeo.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Supervisor Sealy.
Here.
Attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. And my apologies. Sometimes when we divert from the normal routine, we get a little off kilter. But welcome everyone. We have a modest agenda tonight. We also have a presentation, a special ceremony before our regular business to honor and promote a member of our police department. We also have two public hearings, which will commence at 7:35. As always, if you wish to speak to the board on these public hearings, one of which involves improvements to the town's consolidated sewer district, the other involves a special use permit application, you may speak to those public hearings. We also, of course, will have public input commencing probably before the public hearings, where you may address the board on any number of topics. And the sign-up sheets are by the door. A few notes just before we get down to our order of business. On January 5th, in this room, we were happy to host the swearing-in of Assemblywoman Jamie Romeo, who is now representing the town of Arundecoit, Brighton, parts of the city of Rochester in the State Assembly, replacing Assemblyman Morelli, who is now in Congress. It was a nice ceremony, and the real star was, of course, Assemblywoman Romeo, but also her son, Dominic, who led the full room in the Pledge of Allegiance and did so perfectly. So congratulations to Arundecoit resident Jamie Romeo on her being sworn into the State Assembly. The Arundecoit skating rink is now open. It was when I wrote these notes this afternoon. It is temporarily closed. We're repairing a crack in the ice, but it is open for the season. It just is being patched up, as they say. We'll again be offering skate rentals on the weekends, but I always encourage people, pay attention, go to our town website for information on the hours and whether or not it's open or not. A brief update on the mall and community center, which I know is on the minds of a lot of people this weekend, as mysteriously the lights of the carousel were on as they drove by on 104, but it reminds me of the need to constantly be keeping people up to date on what's going on there. We do not have anything to do with the carousel lights being on, but certainly there's enough activity that warrants just a brief update. We're moving into the final stages of planning for our proposed community or recreation center at the former mall. At present, we're working to develop a final, what's known as schematic design, that reflects last year's community engagement process and a plan completed by a citizen-led community center advisory group. So we're really taking the components that they sought and trying to make it work into the final blueprint at the space allotted to us. It's our hope to have a final proposal for the community within the next few months. Certainly, the town board will be given that update, and it will be made present to the community as well. Should the town board elect to move forward, and a lot of it depends on the budget, we do plan on putting this up for a community referendum vote. I really do look forward to providing an update in the coming weeks. It's exciting to see this come together. With regards to Skyview on the Ridge, which is the former mall, we don't call it Medley Center anymore, we call it the former mall or Skyview on the Ridge. The town has approved the proposed senior housing project at the former Sears. That happened late last year. Furthermore, we expect the owner of the mall to come before the town planning board either this month or next on the first phase of redevelopment in the area that encompasses right where the carousel was in the former food court, which is where it will house our community center. That's about 170,000 square feet. So taken as a whole, we hope that roughly half of the mall will be in the process of being redeveloped at some point this year. Winterfest, I'm shifting gears. Winterfest will be Saturday, January 26th. It'll mark our 5th annual celebration on the Town Hall campus from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Residents can break free from your cabin fever, bring your family, friends, and neighbors. It's a free event with tons of great activities. Our ice skating rink, weather permitting. We have the a cappella performance by the Yellow Jackets from the U of R. Game and ride trailer, horse-drawn wagon rides, a favorite of Councilman Pernicone's, life-size snow globe photo booth, which was a request of Councilman Wayner. Ride on mechanical reindeer was my request. On-site wood carver, our town attorney requested. A bonfire and marshmallows, Councilwoman Romeo. And the Fleet Feet family trail hike was requested by Councilwoman Hushler Ray. So all the council got what they wanted, the inner kid winning out. But we do hope to see people up. The good thing about Winterfest is it could be 2 degrees or it could be 50 degrees. It's a lot of things that technically are not weather dependent, but we hope to have that perfect winter day with no snow, but snow on the ground. If you've noticed, if you've been up to Town Hall lately, you've seen on the Public Safety Building the installation of over 150 solar panels that will power the Public Safety Building. That was completed with a state grant that paid for it. It was as a result of our participation, early participation, I'll note, in the state's Clean Energy Community Program. I think this was perhaps the only solar project in the world where it actually improved the aesthetic value of the roof of the Public Safety Building. I think if you've seen the Public Safety Building, it is not an example of a architectural marvel, but we're very happy to complete that. The DPW facility being constructed will have solar panels as well, so we're very excited about that. The second annual charity basketball game between the Irondequoit Police Department and the East Irondequoit Teachers Association will take place Saturday, February 2nd, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. at East Ridge High School. Proceeds of this event benefit the Irondequoit Community Cupboard. There's going to be a variety of fun activities for children. It was a great event last year. The IPD is looking to defend their title, and here they have secured the participation of a ringer this year to help solidify this guy. Hopefully I don't mysteriously not avail myself to play like last year, but it's a nice event, and thank you for the Teachers Association and the police for doing it. I'm sure I'll have many pictures to share next month, but the IPD will be participating in the Rochester Polar Plunge February 10th at Ontario Beach Park. A lot of our police officers here. I hope that wasn't news to them, but Chief told me to announce it. Be on the lookout for how to support the initiative or visit www.polarplunge.net. Our biannual blood drive will take place on Thursday, January 24th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Here at Town Hall. Please call 336-6034 to reserve a time. We've always had good participation, and I thank residents in advance. A reminder that town offices will be closed on Monday, January 21st in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Again, that's January 21st. Last week at our workshop meeting, as we do every month, we were happy to award our Staff Spotlight Award to a member of our Planning and Development Department, Michelle Nichols, who does a really, really nice job. She is the heart and soul of our planning and zoning boards, but also is responsible for being the steward of all the planning information that comes in. She's been with the town well over a dozen years and is a terrific asset in our planning department. So we were happy to recognize Michelle with the staff spotlight. And Commissioner Kiley begged me before the meeting to add, just note that we have some winter weather coming this weekend. Just as always a reminder, there's a winter parking ordinance from midnight to 9 a.m. It's very important. It helps secure the safety of our plows, but also that our streets can get plowed in a more expedient manner. So please be mindful of the winter parking ordinance, and above all, be safe. Any emergencies, call 911. Any snow removal matters, please call 336-6090. With that, that commences my remarks. I'm going to now ask the board members to join me at the podium, and I will ask Chief Tantillo to take over as Masters of Ceremonies temporarily.
Well, thank you very much. Tonight is a special occasion for us. As the supervisor mentioned, it's been somewhat of a solemn week for us here at the Arundequoit Police Department. You need that. But I think one of the highlights of tonight's promotion is the fact that when we talk about Officer and soon-to-be Investigator Bradley Lape, that he really had Captain Ryan as a mentor and somebody that really coached him along the way. And I think, in fact, I know that Captain Ryan is smiling down upon us tonight. So with that, I'd like to have Investigator Bradley Lape come forward with his lovely family. I know there's a few basketball players in the group there. We practiced a few times last year, right? And anyone else, Brad? You got everybody up here? Or? Okay. So just by way of a quick introduction before the supervisor administers the oath, Brad is a graduate of Niagara University. He's been an exceptional police officer with the Arundequoit Police Department since 2004. He's been a field training officer, a member of our emergency response team, a firearms instructor, defensive tactics instructor, taser instructor, pepper ball instructor, and a Glock armor. He has been highly regarded as, due to his DWI enforcement efforts, his tactical warrant training that he attended, as well as now being really a coach and trainer for us as far as tactical entries and keeping our officers safe. He's Narcan trained, which is extremely important to every community, tactical first aid, and is a taser instructor. He's a highly decorated police officer, and in 2004 was Police Officer of the Year with the Arundequoit Police Department, and he has numerous commendations and recognitions. He volunteers his time with things such as Shop with a Cop and the charity basketball game and other events that we have held. He's conducted a number of lectures in our community dealing with vehicle safety, and he's quick to adapt, because I think during one lecture at Eastridge High School, the actual presenter who was scheduled decided to have one of those 4 children that are back there, and Brad had to cover for him at the last minute and did a great job filling in for that unnamed officer, but who happens to have 4 daughters. You figure that one out. Brad does an exceptional job, both as a police officer, if you will, on the road patrol, but now in our investigative unit. He's been involved with a number of high-profile investigations. He always carries out his duties with dignity and respect for all involved. He's a great asset to the Arundequoit Police Department and a great asset to the community he serves. Mr. Supervisor?
Repeat after me. I, Bradley Lape,
I, Bradley Lape,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will defend the Constitution
that I will defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of New York.
and of the state of New York.
I will enforce all of the laws
I will enforce all of the laws
of the state of New York
of the state of New York
and the town of Arundecoit.
and the town of Arundecoit.
I will fulfill the duties
I will fulfill the duties
of the rank of investigator
of the rank of investigator
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I will serve, protect, and guide
I will serve, protect, and guide
the citizens of the town of Arundecoit.
the citizens of the town of Arundecoit.
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations
of the Arundecoit Police Department.
of the Arundecoit Police Department.
Investigator Layton, congratulations.
Just want to take the moment to thank everyone for coming. Thank Chief Tantillo, Captain Bean, who's not here, for the promotion. The town board also involved in that. I've been here a little bit of time. You've heard all the things I've done. I want to thank the community for allowing me to participate in some of that stuff. So I want to thank my family and friends that came, and look forward to serving the community even more. Thank you.
Yeah, let's do it. Casey, can you get one more of the group?
We're good. All right, very nice. We can now move on to public input. We have two people signed up for public input, but certainly if you did not sign up and wish to address the board, you are welcome to do so after those who have signed up previously have had their chance to speak. First, I'd like to ask Robert Leduca, 103 Ransford.
Thank you for having me come here tonight. The reason I'm here is because of the house on the corner of Ransford and Culver, that's 2874 Culver. A couple years ago, they turned that front yard into a mud bath of driving cars and all that. Well, here we go again. And I'll tell you, when you drive down Ransford, which is a street that people have really worked hard to improve their houses, that's the first thing you see. They've been parking all over the house, the rides, the Arundecoit, they go around the trees, and it's just turned into a mess. It's really, really horrible. It stopped after 2 years ago for some reason. Well, they're going at it again. It's pretty horrible. Also, there's a lot of strange things going on with cars. Now, you probably say, what do you mean? Well, I've noticed walking around it, cars will park at the side of the house for short periods of time and then disappear. And on the weekends, they'll also park lots of them in the driveway. Now, this cutting across the grass, and Mr. Seeley, do you see all the pictures I have there?
I do.
Okay, cutting across the grass, there's no reason for it because they have a double turnaround in their driveway. But still, and that's going to get way worse, I guarantee you. It'll turn into a real mud hole. So, I don't know what's going on around there, but a lot of cars there on the weekend, and cars parking on the sides and all that, very suspicious. So, that's it. Thank you for letting me talk.
So just, we'll make sure that at the very least, it's, I don't know if it's registered as a rental property, we'll make sure that we take steps so that it is. That allows, at least for us to know, there are renters there and hold the owner or property maintenance person responsible, and make sure they're aware of the law governing rental properties. So I think what was the address again, sir?
2874 Culver Road.
It's Culver Road, okay. So And if you want, perhaps my Director of Community Development, who's seated in the back, can just chat with you briefly, just to kind of give you an overview of some of the things we're able to do.
Okay.
But I do appreciate you bringing this to us. It's very helpful often when residents are our eyes and ears sometimes of potentially problem properties. And for the life of me, will never understand why some residents, sometimes it's warranted, but often, as you explain, park on the lawn when there is asphalt to park on, so.
And they
I
drive
I
across town
sympathize.
property.
I look at the pictures, and it's a beautiful big lawn, and it has been dug up this winter, so thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you everybody else.
Next up, we have Bill Beanie, 291 Rock Beach Road.
I'm Bill Beanie of 291 Rock Beach Road. If you want to know where the hillbillies live in Irondequoit, it's got to be Pinecrest Drive. You're going north on St. Paul Boulevard, right before Colebrook, Pinecrest Drive, take a right, go down Pinecrest to Washington Avenue. Pick a year, 1962. It was beautiful. And I'll tell you, it was a beautiful, level, exceptionally wide road, very well manicured trees on either side of the road, beautiful air, beautiful light. You're at the corner of Pinecrest and Washington Avenue. Look up. They call it the Irondequoit jungle. Massive, overgrown trees on both sides of the road, growing together over the road, branches intertwined, a multitude of branches growing towards the road, dark shadows, primates, monkeys swinging from limb to limb over the road, snakes hanging down. Go down, get through it. Don't take your car down there. Towards Washington Avenue again. Get to the corner of Washington Avenue and Belmead. If we're going to give an award for the worst road in Irondequoit, this is it. It's got it all. It's close to Iroquois School, children, families. The road itself goes up to a crosswalk. Now you're at Belmead and Washington Avenue. The road itself, if you're in your car, hold on to your hat. You tell me. I don't know. You tell me, I don't know. Thank you. Good night. I'm Bill Beanie. You've been listening to Trees in Irondequoit.
It's Bellhurst. I think it was Bellhurst, not Belmead, just for the record, Madam Clerk. Bellhurst. Okay. Thank you for both participants and public input. Anyone else wish to address the board? With that, we will close public input and move on to the financial report. Comptroller Seeley's excused, given a death in her family, and certainly her family's in our thoughts and prayers, but Rick Checky is here in her place. Rick?
Good evening. For this report, we're presenting a preliminary look at the 2018 financial results for the town as of December 31st. The 2018 books will not close until after the end of February, so as to allow for the receipt and processing of outstanding commitments and to account for and properly book the remaining revenue that is owed to the town. During the February and March upcoming town board meetings, we will present the most current 2018 preliminary results, along with the respective 2019 monthly financial reports. At the June town board meeting, the town's auditors from Bonadil Group will present highlights of the audited 2018 financial statements and audit report. The 2018 financial results as of December 31st, the town's total expenses are lower than budget at 92.5%, a sum of about $32,337,000. Open encumbrances are $787,000, and the actual expenses to date total $31,250,000. The actual expenses alone equate to only 90.3% of the budget. Encumbrances remain sizable. Departments have committed to services, supplies, and commodities that were needed through December 31st of 18. The general fund expenses are below budget at 91.4%, or $18,955,000. The actual expenditures are 89.2% of budget, or $18,491,000. The other 2.2% is due to $463,000 of open encumbrances. Overall, the expenses in the highway funds are below budget at 92.9%, a total of $5,195,000. The costs in these funds result from considerable expenses for salt, asphalt, and fuel as were anticipated and were budgeted in 2018. The library expenditures are favorable at 95.9% of budget, a total of $2,215,000. Expenses in the sewer fund of $3,741,000 are below budget at 91.2%. Stormwater drainage expenses at approximately 90.7% of budget, total of about $715,000. The general fund has received revenue of $20,307,000, slightly above 100% of the budget. Real estate taxes totaled $10.8 million. 102.6% of the pilot revenue of $172,000 total has been received. Major revenue items recorded to date include 8 months of sales tax revenue in the amount of $3,074,000, or 71.1% of budget. 100% of the per capita state aid of $613,000, 50% or $376,000 of franchise cable TV revenue, and $37,000 for franchise audit fees, and mortgage tax for the first quarter of $133,000. The recreation program fees of $324,000 are favorable to budget at 99.6%. Included in other sources of revenue are 3 significant 2018 one-time revenue items: $1.7 million of fire insurance recovery for extra expenses, Medley Center settlement proceeds of $450,000, and $238,000 of settlement costs associated with Comida and the Target and Holiday Inn properties. Without the one-time revenues, the general fund would be at 88.3% of budget. For the entire town, $34 million or 99.8% of revenue and appropriated fund balance has been documented to date. Without the previously mentioned $2,388,000 of one-time general fund revenues, the town's total would be at 92.8% of budget. At month end, the library had confirmed revenue of $2,304,000 or 99.8% of their budget. 99% or $5,522,000 of revenue has been recorded by highway. 100.6% of the sewer fund revenue or $4,103,000 has been verified, and stormwater drainage has received 100.2% of its budgeted revenue of $764,000. And that concludes the first pass and the report for the preliminary financial report as of December 31st, 2018.
Thanks, Rick. And as we discussed in a workshop, just a few things of note. A large expenditure not included in there is our payment to the New York State Retirement System, which is substantial, but will not put any of those particular funds over budget. And on the revenue side, still 4 months left of sales tax outstanding, which we're tracking to be revenue positive in that regard. So all things considered, looking to close out the books in a good manner, even after you divorce out some of those unexpected revenue items, the insurance, the settlement, and some other influxes of revenue. So looking good as we get to the end of the year. Does anyone have any questions for Rick? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept the financial report.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report is approved. Madam Clerk?
Approval of minutes, December 11th, 2018, the workshop meeting.
Motion to approve.
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Any questions, comments, revisions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain?
One.
Councilwoman Hushabye abstains, 4 ayes, 1 abstention. The minutes are approved. Madam Clerk,
December 18, 2018, the regular town board meeting.
motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Questions, comments, revisions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain?
One.
Councilwoman Hushabye abstains, 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 abstention. The minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, and I ask that you move on to item for board action number 21 under police. And let the board members get through
Item
their
number
packet.
21, resolution authorizing the placement of a traffic control device on Ontario View Street at Oakmont Drive.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Ontario View Street intersects with Oakmont Drive, and at that particular intersection, there is no stop sign or traffic control device for westbound traffic. So in order to enhance the safety at that particular intersection, we're recommending, after consultation with the Commissioner of Public Works, that a stop sign be placed at that location, so there is no confusion about the flow of traffic.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the chief on this one? I went out and looked at it. Certainly is warranted. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, we can now
Item
move
number-
on to item for board action number 3.
Item number 3, resolution authorizing a settlement agreement, Meta Hospitality.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. This would authorize a settlement for tax years 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017 with Mata Hospitality in the amount of settling 1.9 million under original assessment for 2014, 1.5 million under assessment for 2015, 1 million under assessment for 16, and at assessed value for 17. This was negotiated with our assessment attorney, who recommended it very strongly that we approve. Mata Hospitality is the Hampton Inn on East Ridge Road. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 4, resolution authorizing a settlement agreement, 1300 Winton North LLC.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
This would authorize the board to enter into a settlement agreement with 1300 Winton North LLC. Much smaller amounts, a difference of $38,000 for tax year 2017 and $212,000 for 2018. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 5, resolution calling for a public hearing on the matter of granting a special use permit for 511 East Ridge Road in a C Business District.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Ivers, explanation, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. The special use permit application before you is for a restaurant bar location at 511 East Ridge Road. While this particular location has previously housed bar restaurants, it has been vacant. That space has been vacant for some time. The new applicant came forward with a change of occupancy or change of occupancy application, which triggered us to review past approvals. We determined that no special use permit had been granted previously, so the previous businesses were likely pre-existing non-conforming with the special use requirements, and so now this applicant is going to be correcting that and getting the special use permit required for this zoning district. So this application or this resolution before you is accepting the application, referring it to the planning board, and setting a public hearing date for next month's regular town board meeting on February 19th.
Thanks, and certainly I'm sure board members will have questions for the applicant. We did, in the interim period between workshop and tonight, get clarity on their hours of operation, correct?
We did. The applicant was notified of 2 questions related to their application, and they did send a response, and that's been forwarded to the board, and it will be included in hard copy as part of the record.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this? Okay, this would set the hearing for 7:35 next month, Madam Clerk.
No, 7:36.
7:36, gotcha, thank you. She's always on point. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. We can now move on to our first public hearing of the evening. Madam Clerk, please call it.
Public hearing number 1 on the matter of authorizing improvements to the town of Arundecoid's Consolidated Sewer District.
Motion to open public hearing.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is open. Mr. Kiley, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The public hearing that's being held this evening is regarding Section 202B of Town Law, which requires a public hearing be held when an improvement is to occur within the Consolidated Sewer District. The Department of Public Works is recommending that several improvements occur during 2019. The first of which would be the sanitary sewer, reconstruction of the sanitary sewer on Washington Avenue from Rock Beach Road north to St. Paul Boulevard. That project would include both the main and laterals for that sanitary sewer. The sanitary sewer at that location is disjointed in several places, collapsed, and is causing a variety of different sinkholes on the road surface. So we would seek to do that project immediately during the spring and summer months and have that project conclude before school begins in the fall. The second project would be the reconstruction of the List Avenue pump station, a pump station immediately adjacent to the district offices, West Arundecoid district offices on List Avenue. That pump station is in disrepair and is in need of a total rebuild. At this time, we've penciled that project in for the summer months when school is out. In addition, and lastly, within the improvements would be a variety of different lateral and main reconstructions throughout the town. From time to time, there are a variety of different issues that occur within the mains and laterals that continue to keep wastewater flowing, be it the pipes become disjointed, they collapse, they become damaged in some way, or so severely impacted with roots or obstructions that we are no longer able to properly maintain those. In those cases, we would remove that section of pipe, reinstall, and repair to ensure that the wastewater continues to flow appropriately. So those would be the projects that we're discussing this evening.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Kiley before we open it up for public comment? All right, we didn't have anyone signed up to speak in this hearing. If any of the many members in our audience wish to come forward to address the board, they're welcome to do so at this time.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Beanie, just please state your name and your name and address. I think it's 291 Rock Beach, right?
You got the address.
Good memory.
Bill Beanie. I would just like to ask whether, actually, Mr. Kiley's proposal going for the sewer district going from Washington Avenue at Rock Beach Road up, does that perhaps actually touch upon what I just brought up, the section of Washington Avenue from Colebrook Road straight up to up to Pinecrest? Just as a matter of thought, it'd be nice if it did.
No, these are aged. This is the northern part of Washington Avenue, which is severely aged infrastructure. The sanitary sewer, and those parts are in disrepair. So this would be the northern part of Washington Avenue. I can't state that. I don't know the full extent of the mains that we're replacing this year, but the Washington Avenue portion he discussed was the northern half.
He mentioned going to the school, that's the only reason, up to the school, being Iroquois School, I presume. Is that right?
Mr. Kiley, you may clarify.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The project on List Avenue is the reconstruction of the pump station, which is the repository for the wastewater before it is conveyed then to a treatment plant. The mains and laterals in question on Washington Avenue is the actual piping associated with the wastewater to then be evacuated and deposited at the pump station.
Oh.
They're two very different types of projects in two very different locations.
Oh, just wondering whether you mentioned that the project on Washington Avenue, did that go up to Iroquois School? Just wondering. Reconstruction of the sewer part? No. Oh, okay. Well, that's that, because that's the part that's really bad. Be nice to look into that. That's my point.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Meany. Would anyone else wish to address the board on this proposed matter? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close public hearing. In a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. Madam Clerk, item 1PH-1A, please.
Resolution in accordance with Section 202-B of the Town Law to consider authorizing improvements to the Town of Arundequoit Consolidated Sewer District.
Motion?
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Colley went to great lengths to explain the matter at hand. Bob, just a clarification on why two resolutions are required for this particular action.
So the first resolution is the resolution pursuant to Section 202B authorizing the improvements to the district. The second resolution is the actual resolution to undertake the financing behind the project. The total value of the projects are $900,000.
Thank you. And for the public's edification, when doing improvements to the consolidated sewer district, for a bonding particularly, process is a little bit different. We did several bond resolutions last month. The process is a little bit lengthier for the consolidated sewer district. Any questions or comments on this proposed resolution, the first at hand? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
Item number 1PH-1B, bond resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Arundequoit, Monroe County, New York, the town, authorizing the issuance of up to $900,000 in serial bonds of the town to undertake certain improvements to the town's consolidated sewer district.
A motion?
Moved.
And second?
Second.
Thank you. As Madam Clerk explained in the explanation and Mr. Kiley explained previously, this resolution provides for the financing of improvements to the consolidated sewer district in the form of Mr. Kiley's explanation previously. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk.
Public hearing number 2 on the matter of granting a special use permit for 1465 North Winton Road in a C Business District.
A motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. I'm going to just ask Ms. Ivers to provide an explanation, please, and I'll ask the applicants to come forth before the board. So you may be seated temporarily. Ms. Ivers?
Thank you, Supervisor. The public hearing this evening is to consider a special use permit in association with conversion of an existing vacant, lack of a better word, educational and office building. It was the former Empire State College. It is Zone C business, and the proposal before you is the adaptive reuse and renovation of that building interior to accommodate 9 new 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment units. The zoning in this district requires that any multifamily be subject to a special use permit that this board would consider.
Thank you. And it's my understanding the planning board is yet to issue a referral on this.
Yeah, so the planning board actually is considering the site plan and also the referral that was provided or requested at last month's meeting. Unfortunately, because of the holidays, the timing was such that the referral can't be taken up by that board until the end of this month.
Understood. And as such, we will, if acting upon it, will not do until next month at the very earliest. Okay. Any questions from Ms. Ivers before we ask the applicants to come up and speak about the project? Okay, gentlemen, you may approach and just let us know your name and affiliation with the project.
Okay, Lawrence Heininger, professional engineer. With me is Andrew Kalupski, owner of the property. And the property was built by his grandfather, Dick Ladonna, back in the early 70s as office space. As Carrie Ivers explained, when you look at your zoning map, this is a little triangle of orange C business. The apartments immediately to the north are R5, also built by Dick Ladonna. Building's been vacant for 2 years. There have been no takers for either leasing or buying it. And under your code, section 235-28 special permits, A19, multifamily dwellings are allowed subject to obtaining a special use permit from the town board. So back on November 29th, we submitted the application checks, seeker form, proof of ownership, letter, site plans, perspective, floor plans, elevations. We met with you last month for you to call for this public hearing. And last night, we met with the planning board at their work session in this meeting. And at that time, we were made aware that the next planning board meeting is 2 weeks from yesterday, at which time we anticipate a site plan approval subject to county health department, et cetera, et cetera. And then it'll come back to you with a positive recommendation for the special use permit. And your next meeting, I believe, is on February 19th. So, pretty straightforward. Last night with the planning board, they're looking for, beyond the elevations we've already submitted, they want elevations with the actual lighting on the building. That was anticipated, and we'll do that. Andrew, anything you want to say?
Yep. Basic gist of this project is that we did look into all of the options available. This is our third concept that we've worked through, the owners and myself, and we have worked through and found this is the best possible reuse for this building. Want to keep the existing structure and try to keep this going, keep it in the family. It's going to be a fun project. We feel it's going to be a nice little community piece. Right there in the corner there, have the garages available, and just a nice adaptive reuse for this market.
For the people that might be out watching in TV land, a little bit more descriptive here. We're using the existing curb cut off Winton Road. There are 9 apartments. Your code calls for 2 parking spaces per. So there will be 9 garage spaces with doors. That was a question yesterday. The apartments are going to rent for about $2,000 a month. So there'll be 1 garage space secured, 1 open space. We're over parked by 2 spaces. We're reducing the asphalt significantly. There's a huge sheet of asphalt out there now, so the runoff will be significantly less. The traffic will be approximately 1 car every 15 minutes, both in the morning and in the evening. The question came up last night, what was the traffic loading of a community college? It would take 4 students to equal the traffic of these 9 apartments, and they had a lot more than 4 students. So, as far as the drainage, there's less traffic. Our water usage will be a combined service most likely, and I know this is not what you know, on the special use permit, but people always want to know the details. It's going to be a combined service. Chris Balmer, Balmer Mechanical just sent over a proposal for the backflow preventer. Once inside the building, that's going to split to the backflow for the sprinklers. They will be sprinklered, and then a meter for the domestic side. He'll be coordinating with John Hodgetts at Monroe County Water Authority. I'll be coordinating with Margot Brownlee. I spoke with Bob Kiley before the meeting. The town engineer wanted to know whether the existing lateral tied in above or below the manhole. So Bob will get the camera truck out there to determine that. I'm going to recommend to Andrew that we get a plumber over there while the building's vacant, and we roto-rooter the pipe and run a camera down there to make sure that the lateral is all working well before you put 9 people in there. So that takes care of the water going in and the sewage going out. Landscape plan has been done by Bill Price at SWBR. Lighting is being done by Lynn Wallen-Horst, who's a West Irondequoit grad and a Geneseo grad, over at Lightspec. Architecturals, Dan Peters. That's the team.
All right, and again, our scope, and this is primarily the use, and certainly,
Right.
I'm sure the planning board, we always appreciate when sometimes we're not privileged to that level of detail, but I thank you for that.
And I'm just saying that people,
Yeah,
that's way more exciting than, your question, is this a good idea?
right.
Or do you know someone who wants to lease the building?
More or less, yeah. Any questions for the applicant?
And they are in the apartment business. They own the Woodridge Apartments on East Ridge Road, so this is not a neophyte first time out.
No, I don't editorialize too much, but I appreciate the adaptive reuse, and you know, I always like to see things that once had life come back to life. So I won't speak for the planning board or my other board members, but you know, I thank you for coming forward with this.
Right, well, I will add one thing. As a site designer, I was very pleased with the way the garage is laid out and created a courtyard in the back. You haven't been privy to the landscape plan, but on the back side, there is actually a patio with a grill all landscaped in. So for the 9 people there, there's actually a community space between the building and the parking lot. So it's
Careful,
not-
I use that word community space. The neighborhood.
Oh,
might,
yeah, that's true, that's true.
communal space for the.
For the people there, and
Occupants.
9 is a nice number in that, you know, it's not overwhelming, but it's not 2 or 3. And there will be a black wrought iron looking fence along the frontage, not immediately at the right of way, but back by the building, so it's gonna add a little snap to the front there.
All right. Well, thank you. I have no further questions. I don't think anyone else has signed up. Would anyone else wish to come up and address the board? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to close public hearing.
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing on this matter is closed.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
And clerk, we now move on to item 5 under community development, please.
Number 6.
Number 6, you're right. Man, you're good. And it checked off and everything. I'm looking right at it.
Could you say that again?
Yes.
Item number 6, resolution calling for a public hearing on the matter of rezoning 2763 and 2771 Culver Road from R1 residential to mixed-use commercial.
Motion.
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Ivers, explanation, please.
Thank you, Supervisor. This is a resolution to accept a rezoning application for the addresses noted in the title, from existing R1 residential to mixed-use commercial. You may recall that this is the site of a former
to stabilize the road surface on Newport, which over the past several years has been sloughing. This resolution authorizes the bond for $270,000 to be used to stabilize that road surface.
Thank you, and for those residents who pay close attention to bonding resolutions, this mirrors the resolution passed last month. We had with bond resolutions, there's a window of time by which notice needs to be provided in the official town newspaper. Around the holiday season, the official town newspaper was operating on a condensed schedule. As such, we were not able to meet that window. In full disclosure, we're rescinding the previous resolution and adopting a new one. It's not redundant because it's a new year. Okay? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 17, authorizing the lease of a mail machine at Arundequoit Senior Community Center.
Motion.
Move.
And a second.
Second.
Ms. Hall, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution is to renew the lease for the mail machine at the Senior and Community Center.
Okay, any questions or comments? I hear none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 18, authorizing the supervisor to enter into various contracts with vendors for the town's 2019 Winterfest celebration.
Motion.
Move.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Hall, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution is to enter into contract with various vendors to provide entertainment services at our 2019 Winterfest, and your attachment has the cost for those services.
And the vendors include contractors such as Lazy Acre Alpaca Farm,
Dave's favorite.
Game and Ride, William R. Heberly Stables, which provides our horse-drawn wagon rides, Kindred Moon Kennel, which provides our Husky Dog meet and greet, Rick Pratt, which provides the wood carving, and Rainier Shy Tent Rental, which provides tent rental. Any questions or comments?
Can you remind me which one I was really excited about?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just love Winterfest resolutions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 19, authorizing adjustment of the mileage reimbursement rate for 2019 to 58 cents, consistent with the rate allowed by the U.S. Internal Revenue Service.
Motion?
Moved.
And second?
Second.
Thanks. It's always the policy of the town to reimburse employees for use of personal motor vehicles for town business at the rate allowed by the IRS. The IRS changed their rate effective January 1st, 2019. This would authorize mileage reimbursement of 58 cents per mile, reflecting that changed rate by the IRS. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Item number 20, resolution in the matter of scheduling a public hearing to provide opportunity for public comment on Arundequoit's Community Development Block Grant Program.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thanks. Last year, we, in an effort to enhance the citizen participation in our Community Development Block Grant Program, which is a federal grant that funds various community development activities throughout the town, we wanted to boost citizen participation. As such, we opted to call a second public hearing, which will take place in advance of the, advance of the process by which we adopt the 2019-20 plan. This really is in the middle of our CDBG year. Generally, the funds are distributed, I believe, in August, so we're right in that window of kind of mid-year of our CDBG fiscal year. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 22, calling for a public hearing authorizing speed reduction on Briar Lane, Fairview Crescent, Farrell Terrace, Montaigne Park, Northwick Drive, and Sagamore Drive from 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour.
Motion.
Move.
And a second?
Second.
Last year, when we lowered the town speed limit to 30 miles per hour, there was, I want to say, unintended consequences in some instances, but where there were roads off of county roads that remained at 35 miles per hour, in some instances, there were short cul-de-sacs. In those instances, anytime a town road comes off a county road that is above that 30-mile-per-hour town speed limit, we're required to post that town speed limit if it differs from the 30 mile per hour. So, for instance, on Titus Avenue, remains at 35 miles per hour in most portions. Some of the roads off of Titus Avenue, all the roads off Titus Avenue are town roads. Some of them are very short roads where it is not really practical for a car to go 30 miles per hour. So in those instances, residents, rightfully so, came to us requesting a reduction in speed limit. 25 miles per hour is the lowest we can go pursuant to state law. As such, the recommendation is to lower several short roads off of county roads. And in some instances, for instance, Fairview Crescent, which is really an alley that connects St. Paul Boulevard to its elbow by Cooper. This is more just being practical within the context of the new law. In a few other instances, particularly Montaigne Park and Sagamore Drive, we elected to garner resident feedback who wish to lower the speed limit. In one case, Montaigne Park and I believe Shorewood was also in the initial plan for adoption last year, both of those. Sagamore is a little bit longer of a road. However, several dozen residents on that roadway petitioned the town to lower the speed limit to 25 miles per hour. Chief or Commissioner Kiley, anything to add on that? Board members, any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 23, approving the special event license for the American Red Cross to hold a blood drive at the Arundecoy Town Hall.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. As I said in my opening remarks, the risk of this not being adopted, but I hope the board members will adopt and allow us to hold a blood drive hosted by the operated by the American Red Cross on January 24th here in the Broderick Meeting Room from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And as I said, if you are interested in donating, please call in advance, 336-6034, or you can show up the day of. They're always able to squeeze people in. And we, again, thank the community. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. This concludes our order of business for tonight's regular town board meeting. The next workshop meeting is Tuesday, February 12th, 2019, 4 p.m. Our next regular town board meeting is Tuesday, February 19th, 7 p.m. Both meetings being here in the Broderick Meeting Room at Arundecoy Town Hall. I will now take a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoy Town Board on ICAT, Government Access. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoy Town Board on ICAT, Government Access.